Hey guys, it's Biosnow here. First of all, Happy New Year! I know it's kinda late for that, but since it's the first video of the new year, it seemed appropriate. Secondly, today we will be discussing the Schnee family, specifically the youngest brother, Whitley. I know Whitley has been getting a lot of hate recently, and to be honest, I hated him too after what happened in episode 7. Then I took a step back and thought more about him as a character and asked myself if what he was doing made any sense. And the answer was yes, and his reasons aren't as cruel-hearted or sinister as they first appear. Here's my thoughts on what's going on with Whitley. First of all, we need to take the situation he was born into under consideration. Whitley Schnee is the youngest of the Schnee family, born the little brother to Weiss and Winter Schnee. Now let's think about what we know about the Schnee family. Its members are part of the Schnee Dust Company, which is a far-reaching and wealthy company for Otherworld of Remnant. It also operates similarly to a royal family, with people marrying into its power and the eldest of the family's children being chosen to take it over. This is why Weiss was heiress to the SDC, since Winter opted out of its inheritance when she joined the Atlas military. This meant it went to the second eldest, i.e. Weiss. Born into the situation, probably while Winter was still next in line to inherit the SDC, Whitley would have seen the odds of him becoming the heir to the family as incredibly far removed. However, after Winter revoked her inheritance, he only had to consider Weiss, which might have seemed like his odds were improving. It is through this that we can understand exactly why the relation between Weiss and Whitley is how it is. We know from how Weiss behaved in Volume 1 that the SDC was all that these children were ever taught to value as important, which is something Weiss consequently unlearns through the volumes. But putting that aside for now, knowing that this is how Weiss viewed the SDC, it's not unreasonable to think Whitley sees it exactly the same way. Ergo, he may have had bad feelings towards his sister Weiss since she was standing between him and inheriting the SDC. If the SDC is the only thing he sees as being important in life, it becomes understandable why he would have had such a strong desire for it. The difference now comes from how Weiss changed through her time at Beacon. We can compare how she talks from Volume 1 and through Volumes 2 and 3 that she has changed and no longer sees the SDC and its reputation as the most important thing, taking things like friendship and the well-being of others into account and valuing it higher than the SDC. For this reason, we know that even though she and Whitley were brought up the same way, her values have changed. For Whitley, however, this is not the case. He is still very rooted in the idea that the SDC is the only thing that matters and that trying to have a significant role in it and its works is the only thing worth striving for. That means when an opportunity to finally become its heir arose, it's no surprise that he jumped on it. It's no wonder that he was more upbeat than Weiss remembered him being and why he was being so nice to her. He finally achieved his goals, so there was nothing left for him to feel bitter about. So sure, that explains his views and why he was behaving the way he did, but is he justified in how he went about it? Yes and no. We now need to take into account something that is very telling and potent about Whitley's character. Here's what we know about the Schnee family in terms of structure. Jackie's married into the family. Miss Schnee is assumed to be an alcoholic, which leaves their kids, Winter, Weiss, and Whitley. Winter, as we discussed, joined the Elysian military, and Weiss went on to become a huntress in training at Beacon, leaving Atlas only because, as she mentions in Volume 2, that she is determined not to let her father be the last mark on the Schnee family name. Consider exactly where that leaves Whitley. Unable to make any of these decisions yet, he is left alone with Jackie, who would have been close to a son, if only because he was the only one who didn't leave him. This means he would have had a massive influence on Whitley and his thoughts and actions. This explains why he acts the way he does, and why he seems inseparable from his father, even going so far as to warn Weiss with,
"It's foolish not to do as father asks."
So knowing this, perhaps Whitley isn't as cruel-hearted or selfish as we think. He was just molded that way by a cruel-hearted and selfish man, intent on making a son in his own image. So don't hate Whitley. Hate the man who made him who he is. This has been Biosnow, and until next time, run wild, my friends. See ya.